Hello, my friends. Today is Thursday, and we are going to dive closer into lines. Yesterday, we learned about parallel lines, perpendicular lines, intersecting lines, and we're going to focus on that a little bit more. Just a reminder, around 11:30, when you're done with the video, come back to class, and we're going to play Quizlet Live, just with some of those vocab words that we've been learning about in this unit. So come back to class at around 11:30. So we can get signed in. There is a link in Schoology to help you. All right, so when we're looking for parallel lines, what we're looking for I'm making a video and starring Tom Beatty. Gee. Mine's on the other side. So when we are trying to find parallel lines, what we're looking for are lines that are never going to intersect. They're never going to touch. They're never going to cross. They're never going to meet. So what I want you to do is when we're looking here, let's try to identify them. So when I look, I see line AB, I see line BD, DC, and CA, right? We have 4 lines. This is a quadrilateral, 4-sided polygon or 4-sided shape. So when we're looking at them, I'm going to simply just pick 2 that I know are never going to touch. If AB extends forever and CD extends forever, no matter how long they go, they're never going to cross. Therefore, I know that they are parallel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show that AB and CD. So remember we put that line symbol on top, line AB, line CD, and in the middle, we're going to write this symbol here. This is for parallel lines. So another way to read this sentence, looks weird for a sentence, huh? Is line AB is parallel to line CD. And you could agree that this line and this line are never going to touch, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to try this out. So we already did A, B, and C, D. Try to find lines that will never cross. They'll never meet. They'll never touch. Pause your video and try to write that sentence for me. Okay, hopefully when you were looking at this, you identified that line AC, or you can call it CA, and line BD or DB, they are parallel. They're never going to intersect. They're never going to cross. They're never going to meet. So what I would do is I would write my sentence, line AC is parallel to line BD. Notice if I call this line AC, then when I come over here, I'm going to call this one BD. Another answer you could have had is line CA is parallel to line DB. So we would put our line symbol, so we know it's line CA, and then it's parallel to DB. What you could always do as a way to just double check is using that Post-it note that we did the other day. You could put it up against it and just see are they, if I extend forever, so if I extend this line, will it ever cross with this line? Okay, it's another strategy just to double check. All right, nice job. So we learned so far different ways to write a sentence when we're naming lines, specifically parallel lines. And we also learned that a quadrilateral is a 4-sided shape or a 4-sided polygon. Remember, a polygon is just another word for a shape. I want you to try this one. Notice that this quadrilateral doesn't look the same as our last one. So this trapezoid doesn't have right angles where our rectangle definitely did. So go for it, pause your video, and then check back with me to see some different options. All right, so I did 2 different examples of what you could have done for parallel lines in this quadrilateral. Our first one would be line EF is parallel to line GH. No matter how far they extend, they're never going to cross, they're never going to meet, they're never going to touch. Notice that I have the line symbol, I named the line, I said the parallel symbol, and the other line. And then I just showed you a different way you could have answered it, just the opposite way. Now let's talk about why GE, line GE and line HF are not parallel. So if we try again here. If we make this line, I'm trying, and we extend it, then we make this line, and we extend it, eventually they will intersect. So those lines are not parallel. They do make intersecting lines, but not parallel. All right, let's keep moving. You guys are doing great. All right, naming lines. Can you find any perpendicular lines? If you need to take out your foldable to remember what perpendicular is. Perpendicular is when they cross or they intersect and they make exactly a 90-degree angle. So like we talked about on our Post-it note, we have 4 right angles. So you could always double check and see, well, does this polygon or quadrilateral have right angles? And then once you look and see, yeah, this does. I mean, there's even the right angle symbol within it. So I know that. Now I can identify them. I just want to show you what the symbol is to show, like parallel or 2 straight lines going vertical. For perpendicular, this symbol looks like almost like an upside down T, but you can identify that this would be a right angle and this would be a right angle. So this is our symbol for a perpendicular, okay? So now that I have perpendicular, I need to figure out, well, which lines are perpendicular to each other? So I know that AB and AC, when I connect them, they cross, and then they make that symbol right there, that right angle. So I would write my sentence, line AB is perpendicular to line AC. And I would put that line symbol to show how they are perpendicular, okay? Why don't you pause your video and try to find another one? Can you find one? Pause your video for me and then check back. All right, so another one you could have done is I did line AB is perpendicular to line BD. That when they intersect or when they cross, they would make a 90-degree angle. You could also do BD is perpendicular to DC. Sorry, that wasn't a straight one, but this one could do AC and CD, right? For this quadrilateral, there's definitely a few. All right, we're going to move on to another quadrilateral. This quadrilateral, I want you to help me find some perpendicular lines. Remember, perpendicular, the symbol is that 90-degree angle, right? Pause your video, try to come up with them, and then check back with me to compare. Did I trick you? There are no right angles here. I could use my Post-it note to double check, and I know that they're none of these angles right here are right angles. So when those lines meet, they just make intersecting lines. There's no perpendicular lines in this trapezoid or quadrilateral. We're going to do one more of identifying lines. Can you find any perpendicular lines? Pause your video, try, and let me know what you think. All right, so again, there's no perpendicular lines here. Just a reminder, yesterday we talked about how when we're measuring, right, we talked that a right angle is 90 degrees. And we also said if this is 90 degrees, the opposite side of it is also 90 degrees. And we know this because if we measured this angle from here all the way to here, it's a straight line. 90 and 90 is 180, and we know a straight line is 180 degrees. And then we talked about, well, if this is 90 and this is 90, well, what do we know about this angle right here? Well, we know it's also 90 degrees. And then we talked about, so if this is 90 and this is 90 and this is 90, that the 3 of these, one big obtuse angle, would be 90 plus 90 plus 90, which is 270 degrees. And then last, a full circle. 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Watch me go. A full circle is a total of 360 degrees. So maybe you'll hear, like, if you're watching sports, or like if someone is water skiing and, oh my goodness, they just did a 360. That means they went in a complete turn, right? They made a complete circle around. I just wanted to remind you that 4 90-degree angles equals a circle, 360 degrees. All right? All right, friends, one more question and then your exit ticket. Explain why line AB and line CD are parallel, but line EF and GH are not. You don't have to write it anywhere. I just want you to think about it. Why do these make parallel lines, but these do not? So obviously we know parallel lines, they never touch, they never intersect, they never cross. Where these, we know if they extended on forever, eventually they would cross. Eventually they would meet. Eventually they would intersect. So they're not parallel. Okay? So that's how we know that eventually, as they continue and extend on, they would intersect or cross, which means they're not parallel. Just a reminder for me to remember parallel, I look in the word and there's 2 L's going vertically and they don't touch, they don't cross, they don't meet. That's how I remember. All right, our exit ticket before we do our Quizlet Live. On your whiteboard, if you're in your homeroom, you're just going to show your homeroom teacher. If you're at home, you need to email me. Remember, I don't want this at 8 o'clock at night. I'm not great in exit tickets at 8 o'clock at night. So send it to me right before you log into Quizlet. When I say construct, you say build. Construct, construct. So construct or build a quadrilateral. We know a quadrilateral means quad, a four-sided shape, and then identify one of the following with a label. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to pick one of these 4-sided shapes, label it, like maybe you want to do D-O-G, G, I don't know, just teasing. Pick a 4-sided shape, label it with letters, and then identify if they're parallel lines, if there's any perpendicular lines. You don't have to do intersecting, so I'll take that off. Just parallel or perpendicular, just like we did in class today, okay? If you're virtual, you're emailing it to me. If you're in a classroom, hold it up for your homeroom teachers to see. Guys, I'll see you back in my class for Quizlet around 11:30. Thank you.